achieved.
Welcome to Studio Day Heffrey, everybody. Today's Dallas Cowboys topic of the day is, did you see the news about the salary cap? Salary cap's going to go up again. The number is going to be somewhere around $200 million next year, which means we can do our math. We can look at the Cowboys cap situation, how much space they had this year that they can carry over to next year, and we can talk about how you're going to build this Cowboys team. Woo! Cap's going to be about $200 million. How much will the Cowboys have? Give or take, $90 million. Give or take. That's what the Cowboys are going to have. So what I'd like to do is examine how does the future look for the Dallas Cowboys. Because right now, we know that they're going to be missing a bunch of dudes. Free agency's coming. A bunch of guys aren't going to be under contract anymore. And what does this team look like moving forward? The good news is that next year, you're not in huge trouble. 2 years from now might be different because a lot of these extensions, they start hitting harder the second year of them. But $90 million is what we're starting with, okay? Let's do some math. Let's build a team. I got $90 million. Starters on the roster, under contract. And what do I need to shop for? On offense, right now, what do you got? I got Zeke. I got Jarwin. I got the entire offensive line, whichever Connor you want at left, guard, McGovern, or Williams. I got Tyron. I got Frederick. I got Martin. I got Lyle Collins. If you think they're not playing well, that's cool, but they do have all their starters that are under contract for next year, right? Got that. I got Michael Gallup. What am I short? Quarterback, 2 receivers. That's what I'm short right now. Cobb, free agent. Amari, free agent. Dak Prescott, free agent. Now, we're going to have to do some assumed work here because we're not dumb and we're not crazy. So Dak will be here. So let's go ahead and pencil Dak in. Somewhere at minimum, $27 to $30 million for a franchise tag or his long-term deal, which hopefully you don't have to backload it and you could actually take the normal amount in the first year there. So we're going to call it $27 to $30 million. Got that? Okay. Do you want to assume Amari Cooper's here? You can tell me that in the comments. Do you want to lock that in? Because if you do, the cost is probably $18 to $20 million a year. At minimum, you're looking at either a franchise or a transition tag. And so Amari Cooper, at minimum, $16 to $18 million. We want to pencil those in? I'm going to pencil those in, okay? So now we had $90 million. But we got Dak and we got Amari Cooper. So we're going to do the math there, and we're going to say, what, 27 to 30, 16 to 20 for Coop. So 45 to 50 million of our 90 is gone. We'll say half of it's gone, a little over half of it's gone. We still got $45 million, maybe a little bit more. On defense, we got Tank. Our starting D tackles are Tristan Hill and Antoine Woods. I think my other starting D end would be Dorrance Armstrong, I think. Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen are under contract. Hope that Leighton's healthy. Hope that Jalen plays better. And at corner, we got Cheeto and Jordan Lewis, and they're in the last year of their deals. That's next year. Do you want to assume Byron's here? Do you want to keep Robert Quinn? Do you want to try to bring back Michael Bennett? Do you want to do any of those things? Because if you do, Robert Quinn, at his sack number, open market, he probably gets, because he's getting older, a short-term deal. He probably gets a 2-year, I don't know, $20 million deal, 10 a year, maybe more. Michael Bennett, what's he worth? I don't know, $7 to $9 million a year, maybe. I think you got to assume those guys are both gone. I could see Quinn coming back on a cheap deal. I could see that, not a cheap deal, a short-term deal that's not massive money. I could see that happening. If not, I guess hope for Randy Gregory or get ready to spend money in free agency if there's a quality defensive end in the free agent market. So, like right now, for the Cowboys, where do they need starters? They need a starter in Amari Cooper's spot. I think it'll be him, though. They need a starter at slot wide receiver. They need a starter, I think, at nose tackle and at 3 technique. They need a starter at 1 defensive end spot. They need a starter at corner and probably another guy who's starter level or developing that way because they're down to 2 corners. I probably need a starter at strong safety unless you want to bank on Donovan Wilson. So you can see the game we play with the salary cap here, where I could fix a lot of this. I could pay Byron. We can call it $15 million a year. I could pay Robert Quinn. I could keep him around, maybe $10, $12 million a year. And now I'm down to a little over $20 million in cap space. I need starters. I need a bunch of backups. And you can see what's coming. It's not coming this next year. It'll be the year after where it's going to get a little bit tougher. Hey, maybe we'll get a CBA with gambling involved and we'll get a $50 million jump in the cap and everything will be okay. But you can see how this thing works. But to me, my takeaway from this exercise is the future is not bleak. You're going to need that offensive line that's not old. They're not old. So you need that offensive line to stay healthy and play well. That's something that you need. You need Dak Prescott to keep developing. The Jalen and Zeke contracts are going to be bad just because they are. Zeke is a running back, and Jalen Smith is a linebacker that isn't worth that much money. So they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do, and they're going to have a lot of big decisions to make on guys like Robert Quinn, guys like Byron Jones, and then what are we going to do with the rest of it? And there's going to be a lot of pressure to hit this draft class and hit it pretty well, which is kind of the reason that I hope they tank. Because you can turn things around also with new coaches. This defensive personnel right now, it's not good enough, and you're losing big pieces, right? This defense is bad, and you're losing your best corner. You're going to lose your best D tackle in Bleak Collins. You're going to lose your leading sack guy in Robert Quinn. You're going to be losing a starting level defensive lineman in Michael Bennett. Your Jeff Heath's going to be out of contract, but he may be a lifelong Cowboy that plays on the cheap. So a bad defense is losing a lot of their good players. That's dangerous. So they're going to have to nail this thing. They're going to have to draft right. They're going to have to make good decisions on which guys they bring back. I think you can assume Dak for sure and Amari probably, but I'd like to take this opportunity to pressure him to bring Byron Jones back. Jordan Lewis is making some plays. He's making some picks, and he's my guy. He's also giving up a bunch of catches and a bunch of yards. Cheeto gets picked on a lot. Those are your two starting corners for next year. You got work to do. Cowboys got work to do. The future, it's not bleak. It's going to be okay. But I don't know how bright it is, depending on their draft class, the decisions they make, with who they keep around, and the free agents that they're able to bring in. And if you're asking me, overhaul the defensive coaching staff. Pew! Hey, guys, everybody's been talking about Garrett. Garrett's got to go. Well, guess what? All of you have to go because you play the Garrett version of defense. And so a team that right now, their defensive personnel, it's at least average, right? With Tank and Quinn and Malik Collins is okay. And Jalen, and you had Van Der Esch and Sean Lee, like that linebacker group, we thought they were going to be elite, and they're probably average at best. The secondary, they're okay. You got average talent on defense at least, and you're a bad defense. So somebody's got to do something to get more out of their players. Somebody's got to design the defense to get more out of their players, to make rookie quarterbacks more uncomfortable or young quarterbacks more uncomfortable and stop getting torched by dudes named Darnold, Trubisky, Driscoll. All these Bridgewater played pretty well against you. Not really, but whatever. The defense, I'm saying you got to blow out this coaching staff, and then you've got to make the right decisions moving forward, and the Cowboys have a chance for the contender window to stay open. But a year from now when I do this video, we're going to be talking about Dak Prescott counts for $36 million, and DeMarcus Lawrence counts for 20-something million dollars, and Ezekiel Elliott counts for 13, and Tyron's 12, and blah, 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 and you go all the way down the list. And if they don't get a real big bump in that CBA money, we'll be running into a little bit different situation. But for now, they're okay. They're okay. You can rejuvenate this thing. New head coach. I vote for a new defensive staff all the way through. If you find an assistant you like if you're a John Kitna guy or if you're a Ben Bloom guy, but the linebackers aren't playing well, if you think that there's assistants that you keep around, that's cool. But to me, new head coach, new defensive coordinator, both of them, because you have two. Kellen Moore, that should be up to whoever the new head coach is. If you want to keep Kellen Moore, you keep Kellen Moore. If you don't want to keep Kellen Moore, we're not going to make you. And then spend your money wisely, nail this draft, and you got a chance. You got a chance going forward to still be a contender. But, of course, it all starts with the same thing we've been talking about over and over again. Get a new leader at the top. And no, I'm not talking about Jerry because there's nothing you can do about that one. You got to get a new leader underneath the leader. And Jerry, maybe let that guy be the leader. That'd be cool. All right, everybody. Today in the comments, which Cowboy would you like to see re-signed the most? That's going to be a free agent. And make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube page and that you're checking 1053thefan.com every day. Here comes your wink. Oh, wait, I wasn't ready to hit the stop button. Here comes your wink.